Hello everybody and welcome to the short assembly kit update video. My name is Darren from the community team and I'm joined by Mitch from the new content team. Now over the last week and a half we've had a great response from Terry, the map making tool for Total War Warhammer. For the past while there's over 100 maps being published to the workshop, and one of the most requested features that we've seen like on our forums, on Reddit and around the community is that people want to get their maps into the campaign. So currently it's just for the battles, and Terry is still in beta and we're tinkering around with it a little bit. We're going to be adding we've made a little code change and we're adding a couple files to the assembly kit. It's going to make it a lot more easy, or a lot more elegant solution to getting your maps into the campaign, so it will be doable. There are a few modders out there that have figured out their own way of doing it, but this should be a little bit more of a streamlined way of doing it. Shout out to the Lorehammer guys because they figured it out and posted it on Reddit. So hopefully Mitch is going to take us through how to do this and show how relatively easy and powerful it is. We're going to be able to, pick somewhere on the map, on the entire map, and choose, I want my map to go, pretty much in this spot. So if you've got a river crossing battle that's specific to a certain area, you can target that and say, yep, it's only going to appear here. You can say that it's only going to appear even if Empire are there. Maybe you want a Chaos version of it, and if Chaos are fighting, it's there instead. So something like that. Very powerful, very cool, and really exciting. So let's get into it. This change, by the way, is going to roll out on February 28th, and that's when Bretonnia comes out, and that's when the Terry will get updated and the assembly kit, so you have that feature. So Mitch, you're just going to boot up the assembly kit and take us through how to do this.
Yep. Okay, so here we are in Terry. Going to go ahead and make a new map.
Cool.
Won't be a very good map, but it'll be good enough so that we can see something in game.
What are you talking about? That is classic Mitchell Heasty work.
Pretty
right
good.
There.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So now what we want to do is we want to save our map. Obviously, you guys will make a way better map. We're going to call it Mitch's map.
A little bit vain.
It's fine.
All right.
So now what we want to do is go ahead and open it up. You can do that by showing Explorer. If we do that. So this is the folder where your map is saved. And what you can do from here is go ahead and close Terry. But in here we can rename the folder. And this is essentially the key of your map, which you'll need to put it into the database. And then the game will...
Yeah, so this string of numbers is randomly kind of generated by the assembly kit to know where it needs to say things.
Yeah.
And then we'll need to use this as a reference later on in the database.
Yeah.
So you can change this if you want, or you can leave it, but it is kind of nice to change it just so it's easier on the eye and more, you can easily remember it. So instead of having to type this out or copy and paste it. So, but if you want to rename it, just while Mitch is renaming it here, rename it at the beginning of your project, because otherwise it'll start generating files with this kind of thing and path structures that you should just kind of get ahead of it right in the beginning if you want to do that. You can go back afterwards if you have other maps, for instance, and rename it, but it's just easy to do from the beginning. Yeah. While you do that, close Terry and then reopen it so it knows where to look, because you're renaming the folder it's saved in.
Yes. So now if we reopen Terry, we can load up our map. So we want to open another. You can see there Mitch's map. So we open that back up. And then what we want to do is go ahead and export our map. So you can see in the bottom right here, it's exporting the map. You can see there it says Mitch's map in the path. If you didn't change the name, then it would be that long string. But that's a good way to tell that your renaming has worked successfully when you're exporting.
Cool.
Okay, so we've just exported our map in Terry. What we want to do now is open up Dave, which is the database editor. We've got to make a few small database changes. So in the table launcher here, you want to filter for battle attachment. You can see here 4 tables. These are the tables that we'll be editing. So first of all, what we want to do is add an area. So in this table, we're going to specify the area of a map we're about to paint on in which our map will appear.
Okay.
So we're going to create an area called Warhammer Mitch's map area. And then what we want to do is specify red, green and blue. So this is a color of the color that we'll paint on the map for the game to know which map to use. We're going to use something easy to remember, 1-on-1. Next step is to add a group. So we want to open up the groups table, add a record here. Again, we're going to call it something simple, which is map group. Done. Next stop is to add a battle to the group that we've just created. So in here we're going to add a record. We're going to load Mitch's map group. And now in this battle map location column, we're going to specify the path to our battle map. So we renamed it into Mitch's map. If you didn't rename your folder in here, you'd have to specify instead of Mitch's map the big long key, basically. And at the end here, tile upgrades, you can also specify a climate for the map if you want to. And then the last stop is the battle mappings table. This is a pretty powerful table.
Yeah, this is where it gets good.
So in here, we're going to specify our area, which is map area. Now here, you have the attacker and defender. So these are cultures. And what this lets you do is specify that this map will only load if a certain attacker or a certain defender is present in the battle. Or you can use an asterisk, which is basically kind of a wild card. So it'll work for anyone.
I think, like I was saying to you before, a very powerful thing that this could be used for is, you could have a standard map that you want, and then you can make a chaos version on one side. So you can say if the attackers are chaos, in this instance, the chaos version loads, so they have their little chaos camp behind them, behind their deployment or whatever. So you can really mess around with it and actually get a lot of different variations of a similar map if you wanted to really get deep with it.
Absolutely. So the next step we want to take is the battle type column. So in here, we'll specify what type of battle it is in the campaign. Loads of different options in here. You can kind of do settlement battles, you can do ambushes, normal battles, ports. So what we're going to do is keep it simple. We're going to go for a normal land battle. Next stop, we want to specify the campaign. This is the main campaign. And then finally, in the last column, we want to put the group that we created. So it's Mitch's group. And there you go. That's all the data that you need to put. Now we're going to go ahead and export our changes. And then we're going to take a look at the map file itself. So here we've got the map in Paint. What you can see right now is an overlay. So this is basically just going to be used to help us kind of identify the area in which we want to put our map, basically.
So the battle catchment goes under that.
Yeah, so this is the actual battle catchment map itself.
Yeah.
This will be found in the assembly kit in your working data, terrain, tiles, battles, Warhammer, there you go. And this is the catchment override map.
Yeah, it's a DDS file.
It's a DDS file. Yeah, so if we go ahead and put that there, and then what you can do is something like adjust the transparency, so you kind of get an easy way to see kind of where you're painting, but also where in the world you are.
Just for clarification, that'll come with when it comes out of beta on the 28th. So it's not currently in the assembly kit if you look for it now, but that file will be there when it comes out on the 28th.
Yeah. Okay, so now what we want to do is make sure that before we begin painting, we use the color that we specified in the database, which was 111. There you go. Now we can pick maybe the dwarf starting area when we begin to paint.
That layer.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the dwarf capital. You can paint around this area. Obviously, you guys can be way more accurate than this. I'm just going to do this quickly just so you can see as an example. So when we're done there, what we want to do at this point is go ahead and delete any kind of overlays that we have. And then you'll just be left with the map itself. Yeah, so there we are, we're done now. We just want to go ahead and save this. You want to make sure you overwrite the catchment override map in the assembly kit working data folder. And then you want to make sure that the setting under which you save it is X8, R8, G8, B8.
Yeah, beautiful.
There you go, it's saved now, so we can go ahead and close that. Now at this point, Darren, I'm starting to think that our map we've made, it's not a very good one, and there are a load of...
I wouldn't put yourself down, I mean, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but there are a load of better community maps that we can use.
Yeah.
So if we want to go on to the workshop, for example, and maybe use one from there. So here we are on the workshop. We've found a nice map here. This is your map, I believe.
Pretty good map, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I uploaded this just the other day myself. I've been working on a map for a little while. So we just thought, yeah, we'll throw this one in the game, see how it goes. You can see we're subscribed to it now, so it'll download into the data folder. And considering we picked a kind of dwarven, versus greenskin area, it makes sense to use this one.
Good map to use. So what we want to do at this point, now we've subscribed to the map, is head over to the Warhammer data folder. You can see in here we have the map.
The Big Chief's Camp.
The Big Chief's Camp.
And then we've got that long string of numbers.
Yeah, so you didn't rename your file, which is fine. Basically at the end of the pack file, you can see here, you'll have the name of the map followed by the key of the map. So you want to take this, and we can head back to...
And you can see our one actually there, Mitch's map. So
yeah,
you can see why it double names it, because we named it the same as the key. So.
Exactly, yeah. So if we head back to Dave now, we want to go back into the battles table. At the bottom here should be our entry, which is Mitch's map. Instead of that, now we're going to replace this with Darren's map. That's the key for Darren's map.
Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, we can export our changes again. And then once that is done, we can head over to Bob, where we can make our mod pack file. Alright, so here we are in Bob. Now we want to make sure that we go ahead and export all of the files that we've just changed. We want to make sure that mod.pack is selected. You can see that it's selected now all of the files that we've changed, like the database and the map file itself.
Yeah.
So we can go ahead and start that. And then once Bob's done, we will have our new mod pack file created. So now what we want to do is go into the assembly kit retail data folder, and you can see our mod pack is here. So we just want to take that and then head over to the data folder and put the mod pack in next to Darren's map as well. Now we can go ahead into the game and see if it works.
Cool. Alright, so here we are, we've launched into the game. In the launcher we selected mod.pack and mymap.pack.
Yes.
And so here we are. So we're playing, roughly in the area where we painted on that battle catchment map. We're playing as dwarfs, we're going to attack the greenskins here, and hopefully it should just show up as it was set to be a land battle.
Yeah. So we can go ahead and check the scout terrain.
Yeah.
And if it's worked, it should show up straight away.
Attention. There it is.
There it is.
Sweet.
Nice.
Alright.
So now we can load in and see what it looks like.
Alright. So it's worth noting that I made this map for kind of a 2v2, maybe even 3v3. It's really big. I wouldn't naturally put it in this location, but it's just good to show off that it does indeed work. Look at that load time.
Pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. There is a deployment facing issue. We're facing a little bit the wrong way, but it doesn't really matter. We just kind of bring that around to the front.
Yeah.
And basically the idea of this map is it's a greenskin camp. And kind of actually, in a little way, it does fit the battle we're fighting. Greenskins are dug in next to an old carrack, and we're here to take it back, essentially, I guess.
Yeah. Alright, so we go ahead and start the battle.
Yeah, so we'll see how it plays out. So we can actually see the AIs in the very middle of the map right now, actually. They're just doing their thing, and they're probably going to try and defend the... Yeah, I have a defensive AI hint there, and there's some at the gates as well, so they're probably just going to sit there. I didn't really make it with this in mind. I didn't know we'd be showing it off, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, there it is. So, battle maps in the campaign.
There you go. Okay, so here we are looking back at the catchment map. One quick note to make, which is that if you make a mod that has this file, any other mod that also has this file will overwrite. The problem with that is that if you guys want to have lots of different mods that all add various different maps to the campaign, you guys are probably going to have to work together. Maybe all come together as a team and then look to edit this in kind of one file.
Yeah, so basically, having two will overwrite each other. So having one, kind of mod author kind of curate and collect maps, put them into one mod for people would be a great way to distribute this. There is a map making community on the Steam workshop, I guess, for Warhammer specifically. That's just started up, and there's about 50 people in it now. So you could go there, post your maps. Hopefully they'll curate them into one big mod. I think the Lorehammer guys were planning to do that kind of thing anyway. Yeah. And I'm sure other Overhaul guys are planning to just curate some maps and put them in, place them where they want. Yeah. So that could be quite cool way of doing it. So yeah, I think that's going to be it. That's basically it. Thanks for your time, Mitch.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, we hope to see what you guys are going to do with this in the near future. It will be coming out on the 28th of February. These extra files will be added so you guys can play around with it. And yeah, until then, we'll see you in the next video. So remember, you can always tune in to our YouTube channel if you want to subscribe to get exclusive videos and things like that. Follow us on social media for more, and join our forums or Reddit and things like that if you want to get involved in the community for map making and modding. So yeah, thanks very much, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.